Hey guys, welcome back to this chapter review for One Piece chapter 1138. And man, if you thought the craziest thing of this chapter was we get confirmation that Twin has a twin, that Shanks has a twin brother, confirmed, not a clone, was the craziest part of this chapter, you're mistaken. Or you're actually in for the wildest conspiracy theories that we're gonna get for the next week until we get more. Well, we're still gonna carry on conspiracy theories, I'm sure, and I can't wait to hear them all. But let's just jump straight into the review of the chapter, and we'll talk about that last panel, the mural. I'm sure you've read the chapter already. The mural that we get at the end, and we'll talk about some theories. We'll talk about some stuff. And we cut back to where we left off from the last chapter with Loki, and we confirm that this person, Shamrock, is not a clone. Well, he's the son of Figureland. Shanks is not a clone. You know, for me, I was thinking it could be Shanks is a clone of Figureland. He is a clone of the brother. Because he's in a treasure chest. Why was he in a treasure chest? Why was he separated from his twin brother? And he confirms he is my younger twin brother. He didn't have to share this information. That's what's insane to me. I don't know why you're spreading this information out. But anyway, he must not care. He must not. I don't know. That seems nuts to me because that confirms that Shanks is a celestial dragon by blood. I don't know who the mother. Well, no, it's the twin. It's the mother's also celestial dragon. Not that the mothers really matter in the story of One Piece, as we know, or as we see. But yeah, and then we get the next most insane not confirmation, but then we have theories on the sword of Shanks because we get Shamrock to say Cerberus. He's gonna attack Loki because Loki's threatening Shamrock while tied up. That he's gonna go and fight him and take care of him once he's loose from these chains. And Shamrock just says, "Oh, really? I don't even have to do anything. I'm gonna let my sword do the work for me." And some people are saying this is insane. Is that a power that the celestial dragons have? Was this sword granted by Emu and given powers to the sword, or did the sword? It's been a while, I think. But did the sword eat a devil fruit, giving it a mythical Zoan type Cerberus form? Inu, Cerberus. Which is another theory. I didn't even think about that while I was reading. I'm thinking, this power is from Emu. That's insane. That's immediately where my head went to. And we see the sword transform into a dog, which is actually really awesome because I was thinking that if Zoro got a devil fruit, it would be to his sword, so he has abilities and powers. Might be too late into the game, might not be even something that's incorporated really, but if something were to happen and he gets a devil fruit power, it could go to his sword. And he could see Shamrock's ability and say, that's interesting, maybe I do something similar. Anyway, let's breeze past that, and we see the Cerberus. The sword transforms into the three-headed dog, and then this also destroys another theory from because when I was young, the biggest theory on the internet was Blackbeard has a Cerberus devil fruit because he would have three stomachs or three heads or three dogs. The flag, his three skulls. It's a Cerberus. The biggest theory was, and I feel like Oda incorporated it because of that, and it's just confirming not to be Cerberus is not Blackbeard's original devil fruit or something like that. So I feel like that's super interesting that it nullifies that theory. I think it nullifies it, right? I would say it nullifies that theory. And anyway, that's a blast to the past because when I was in, young, 2008, 2009, 2010, when Marineford was dropping, that was the theory. So we skip past that. We have the sword. The sword comes out of the dog's mouth. It's super insane. I love this Oda's just drawing skills on this. Gunko makes a plane, a flying contraption out of the arrows. She spins them together to make like a propelling plane because the arrow always sticks forward. So the plane, weird. So her power is really interesting and constructs a bunch of random anything she comes up to mind with, right? But he attacks Shamrock attacks Loki, and Loki can't dodge. He can't do anything. But if he's able to survive and escape, Shamrock challenges him to a fight, which is awesome, awesome, awesome. And at the final panel for Gunko and Shamrock, we have them saying they're gonna call another Holy Knight. So that's awesome. We're gonna get more Holy Knights. We're gonna get them stealing the kids. Immediately, we have the villain now. We have a proper villain of the story, which is what I was saying is we haven't developed an actual villain or goal for the story. Now they're saying they're gonna kidnap the kids, use the kids against the people of Elbaf, and now we see where the Straw Hat Pirates would come in and save Elbaf from these people, and they look like they're very strong. So I'm excited, but I don't feel like Shamrock. Well, oh yeah, and then when Shamrock was, oh my God, another huge confirmation that statement that we have is Shamrock saying he didn't talk down about his brother. He didn't say anything, at least in the translation we have here. He didn't talk down about his brother, and because he has the celestial blood, he talks down about the area that he's in, this underworld, this lower form, this lower plane of existence, the normal, like where normal people are. Like he's just talking bad about it, but he doesn't down talk his brother because I'm sure he respects his strength. He's probably very strong. He might even be stronger than Shamrock. Like, I don't know if Shamrock is on the level of Shanks. Maybe he's not there. It's very interesting. I wonder how he places himself if he comes in front of Shanks. Like, how strong do they compare to each other? Are they similar? I feel like he's concealing his presence and his hockey. At least that's what the Gunko said when they were leaving. So he doesn't talk down about him, but did say that he has gone to the Holy Land and returned. What? What do you mean he went to the Holy Land? So what does that mean? He decided to go back down to the regular, to live the pirate life. Why? How did he find out about it? Of his lineage? Was Figurlin the one that saw him and says, "That's actually my son. He looks just like this guy." Because he has the poster maybe from the Gold Roger Pirates. He has like Shanks' poster, something like, "That's my son. Let's get my boy." I wonder how that works. I hope we get more confirmation. And of course, when Shanks talks to Luffy, he's gonna say all these things maybe, or when Loki, I don't know, when Loki talks to Shanks, somebody's gonna talk to Shanks and he's gonna say, "Oh, my bad." Of course, we have this mysterious figure that we are getting ever so closer to being confirmed as Scopper Gabon, or as some people are also saying on the off chance it's Shiki, but most likely, because they're talking about the Gold Roger Pirates, Scopper Gabon can be the one that confirms, hey, Shanks, yeah, that person that looks like Shanks is a celestial dragon that is a twin brother of Shanks, because Shanks told me, and it would make sense because they are family. They would know. That would be insane, and then we get some conversation in that sense. Oh man, there's so much potential, but I feel like they're gonna meet Scopper Gabon in the next chapter, or whoever that mysterious walking figure is walking, and he probably says, "I sense something coming from the castle, and I went to investigate." It so happens that Luffy's here. Bam! Confrontation to who this is, and he probably senses this guy has some strong hockey. I need to fight him. I can't wait. I'm already like talking about that's gonna be for the next chapter. But inside the castle, we cut to Luffy, and he's saying, "There's no way that person was Shanks. It must be somebody that looks like Shanks. Shanks' twin brother. Somebody that looks exactly like Shanks. It's no way it's Shanks." And we know that Luffy has a sense of like telling people's true intentions and emotions. But again, Luffy was 7 years old when he was with Shanks and met Shanks. I don't know if he would have been as good as at telling people's intentions, but he is literally on point. He's 100% correct. But like a little kid, he's saying that's impossible to be Shanks. It's impossible. It must be somebody that looks exactly like him. And some people are like, yeah, it could be, but it looks like Shanks. So they're saying in Luffy's thinking, like, I don't actually know anybody that's family with Shanks. He was raised on Roger's ship, so everybody on the ship would be family, except Buggy. And he just excludes Buggy, and I want to know what Luffy's gonna say to Buggy when they meet again. I can't wait. And we cut over to my big man, my favorite, one of my favorite Straw Hats, and we get such a great character development, like character finally, like it's Franky doing Franky stuff, looking at the tree, like there's so much tree here, there's so much, like I want more of it to to use on the ship. There's so much to do, so much to use here. We get more, blossoming of his character finally. I feel like it's been a while. We get Franky character constructive stuff. So I like how Gerd was just holding Franky like a action figure, because he's just a lot bigger than other people, and doesn't fit in her hand, but he just fits like an action figure. It looks hilarious. But he's mentioning there's so much around, but Saul told him not to cut the tree. And we get more exposition of the tree, how old the tree is, and then there's scribbles on the tree that are actually protected because they're so old. They come from the Void Century, and Franky immediately says, they come from the Void Century? Let's go get Robin. Like, what do you mean? That's insane. That's so old. And we get figures, and he's starting to look at this mural, and we get more exposition. And this one thing that she says is, this whole thing could just be a child's dream. And that's insane because like it signifies two things, right? It signifies that this story, this whole drawing can be some child's imagination. And it also goes back into another point that this is a child's dream. This is Oda's dream. This is Oda's story, how he's drawing it to his imagination. And I love it. That's like a self insert right there, indirectly from Oda. And I think that was beautiful. I love it because Oda has been killing it on this story, and insane writing for me on this chapter. A 10 out of 10 chapter with the mural. And we get a dual time, real time, from 2 points in the story. We're getting the story told of the past to us. One where Franky's looking at the story and Robin is reading the story with the kids, the Harley texts. And she's reading the beginning. Let me see here. She's reading the portion of it with Saul here, and then Saul's cutting over to see why they think there's multiple personalities, multiple gods of sun gods because of this. This is why they think there's been 3 rebirths to the world. This world has gone through 3 forms of destruction, and we get this fantastic one of Oda's, I swear, best works in drawing is this myth of the world, the Harley text. And I don't want to read it out. It's going to take a little while just reading all of this out. Don't want to bore you. You can read it. But let's cut through the first world and let's interpret it, Let's go through the conspiracy on what could be the first world, with the slaves wishing for the sun god, wishing for some help. They get the first iteration of the sun god. This must be the manifestation of a devil fruit, and they get the sun god. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe the god was always something like this. It's not truly a god, but they say they've given this devil fruit mythical abilities of said god. And really, Luffy creates things out of thin air. He's basically a god in this form in Gear 5. And the god of the earth could be Emu, and the god, the serpent of hell, get enraged. So when I saw the serpent of hell, I see the drawing, and it enveloped the world in death and darkness. Immediately I thought, dude, that's the red line. The red line is the serpent, and it falls in place with Jormungandr, who envelops the entire. It's so huge, it envelops the entire world. It could be, probably not. It would be humongous because it would mean it's a living creature, but the red line is a very solid rock structure. But it doesn't have to be a serpent of hell. It doesn't have to be a living being. It could have just been something constructed, something made with some sort of power, some sort of object, some other worldly ability, that it made the red line. In word of the serpent of darkness, it could have been what envelops the world. It actually it circles around the world like the serpent from Norse mythology, Jormungandr. And that could be also Loki's devil fruit ability. It could be Jormungandr, as I said in one of the reviews before, because he has a very strong ability. Maybe. Or he does have another form of Nika ability. Sun God ability. Sun God, another sun God devil fruit. But that's what I'm getting at with this. And we see the serpent. We see this drawn in the mural. And the mural has everything. It has the ark. It has NL's ship. NL is probably going to come back in the story because we see the ship in the story. We see the moon. The moon is in the story before the Void Century. This falls before Void Century times. We see the Yggdrasil tree. Well, not the Yggdrasil tree, the treasure tree atom. We see everything. We see the whales. We see Lunarians. We see Skypians. Either Lunarians or Skypians. We see sun god Nika there. We see everybody. Even something that resembles an ancient giant, which probably is Loki here. It looks like Loki. We see everything. Everybody is teaming up versus this figure in this present time context of who I expect to be Emu, who shows up. This figure shows up 2 times. It looks like a dragon or a monster in the second timeline, in the second telling, and then in the third telling, it has a more humanistic figure. So I don't know who's, like, they look like the serpent is also fighting or shooting a blast at this demonic figure. In the second telling, this is where I believe it's the Void Century. We don't know what happened before the Void Century. We know everything that happened. Well, not everything, but we know what happened after the Void Century. This is where I think it's Joy Boy's time. He is the one that fell. He is the one that failed. He is the Joy Boy that failed. He is the sun god that failed here. Because they all dreamed. The people of the moon dreamed. Lunarians, half-moon Lunarians, Skypians, something like that. And humanity killed the sun. The Joy Boy failed. The celestial dragons rose. And then the god of the sea became enraged. He left his story to the princess. And he said, I couldn't keep my promise. He failed. That's what I think is this story. And I think it makes sense. I feel like a lot of people are going to come to that conclusion, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Please let me know. Let me leave a comment and let me know. And they could never meet again. And then we have the third world, the present tense of the story, where everybody's hoping for the new promise, the new sun god to appear. The sun god dances and laughs, guiding the world to its end. That's why the Gorosei and Emu and everything are trying to hold on to this devil fruit, because they are afraid of this prophecy. It's basically almost a prophecy. The prophecy is going to come true. And the sun god will return and a new dawn will come. And then the promise, they will surely meet again. So Joy Boy, and in a different reincarnation maybe, I don't know if that makes sense, in a different form, they meet again with the princess that has the power. So I think that's yeah, in the beginning there was a void upon the chaos, so it talks about this Void Century story. And it shows this mural that Franky's face was my face. So when I saw this mural, I read it and my jaw was dropping every paragraph I was reading of this mural. his face, depicts my face while I was reading it, and I'm sure a bunch of people. This is insane. I think this, and in the corner we say the world myth revealed, and Oda's cooking. Oda is, we are eating. As One Piece fans, we are eating, man. This story is great. And now we get a revelation of what was going on before from these Harley texts. And this Jormungandr figure, there's so much going on in this mural, man. And I feel like I could break it down or try to break it down in another video, get my my thoughts more correlated. But we see so much going on. Like, why are there people that are descending into fire, coming up with halos, like mining fire? Like, what are you getting? Their souls? Are you making devil fruits? They're giving it to this sort of king. And there's just so much going on. And then there's probably like the what's it called? The ancient weapons are in there, which could be the NL ship. Maybe not. Uranus, right? So there's like the figure of Jormungandr, or like this serpent that envelops the world, is what catches my attention a lot. Like, how big is this serpent? Where is the serpent? Is it a real thing? Is it a story that is... Take it also as a story that could have been said how things came to be. Or it was a story passed down as how things came to be, and it was translated so many times that it changed over time. But they're saying this serpent is alive. It looks like it's alive in the drawing, at least. Somebody drew this with the stories they were given before, but in the Harley text as well. Like, it could have been what they imagined was happening with the Harley text. Because remember, the first world happened way before the Void Century, and if they, like 800 years from when they drew this, she said they drew this in the Void Century, 800 to 900 years ago. So in that Void Century, this person drew this, and they were told of the first story. They're living through the second story, and then they're telling about the prophecy in the future. So they wrote it right in between. It could have been 800, 1,000 years ago for the first world story. I'm not sure. But I think it's interesting how the final enemy is holding, it looks like the sun. And it could be a power source, what Vegapunk was trying to replicate, and what they've used before, because ancient technology was better than the technology they have now. It's holding a power source. It's holding some sort of power in the sun. And this sun looks like a lot of logos that we've seen. We've seen the sun pirates. We've seen the fishmen pirates, right? The Wano symbol, everything kind of goes back to the sun. And why is Emu, or not, well, we don't know if it's Emu, but why is this figure holding this sun? Now, where does Blackbeard fall in this whole story? It looks like everybody is going to play together, fight together to take down this figure that, it's hard to not say it's Emu. Emu is pretty much what I'm thinking their final villain here at the end, who's holding this sun-like power source. And it has all the races working together to fight against this common enemy. And man, I think that's where I'll stop from now, because wow, I'm at 23 minutes. I was going on with this mural for a while. If you want me to break this down a little more, guys, please let me know what I think is going to happen for the next chapter. Let me see. We're going to get more revelation on what this Harley text is. Robin might give her take on something. Franky might look at this and say, hey, that looks like this, or this looks like that. He might give his take on something. We have Luffy and the Straw Hats in that side of the castle meet with who is walking, probably Scopper Gaban. And we might see more on Shamrock and what's happening. And we got to save Loki, actually. Immediately, we got to save Loki. That bro is going to start bleeding out. We need immediate help. I don't know who's going to go help him, actually, because Luffy's not on his way to meet Loki with the key. Franky's is with the mural. Robin is somewhere else, so I'm not sure where. Maybe after they meet, the person says, hey, we gotta, I don't know who the person is, right? So we'll say, hey, we gotta go help Loki right now, because I'm feeling his is diminishing, or something is diminishing, or he's dying, like something like that. And we go get Chopper and immediately, or we bring him, Loki, to Chopper to help resuscitate him, or help keep him alive. But yeah, we immediately need somebody to go help Loki, and I'm not sure who that's gonna be. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. Please leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you want me to talk about something else. Let me know if I should keep my videos a little shorter. This is going a little too long. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. That was an insane panel, and there's no break next week. Oda is on a freaking run right now with the One Piece chapters. I'm insane. The story's only getting better right now, and yeah, let me know if I can improve on something, and see you for the next one, guys.